I just say fuck my life way too much. Your other catchphrases, I'm sorry, but you're not sorry at all. You're not sorry, no, you're not sorry. Sounds polite.
Hello and welcome to the first official episode of the Daily Dog Walk. God, it has been a long time coming. We've had a few roadblocks in the way, but we're here. Finally, we are here. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Alicia. I'm a Gen X middle manager. I work in education and I'm a professional photographer. That's the long and short of it. But the reason I'm doing this podcast is because I've the last 5 years I've been on my own personal growth journey. Yeah. And it's been a journey. Now, if any of you do know me, you know that it's something that I've tried to come away from in my life, is that in my younger years, when I was younger, I suffered, and I hate the word suffered because that's an awful word, isn't it? Suffer. Ugh. But I did. I was a child abuse victim, and I hate the word victim as well. But the problem is, and this is the problem, right, that I was so strong and I tried to get through it as best as I could, and I did a fucking good job at doing that, that everybody forgot that I was a child abuse victim. And then I went off into the world and I was trying to forget everything so much. I pushed everything away. And what happened was my whole life turned out to be a trauma response. I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. But that's kind of like what I realized in the last 5 years. I had a mental break 5 years ago and I was like, wow, I thought I was good. I thought I'd handled all that shit good. I didn't. I didn't handle it at all. Wait a minute. So, so I don't know why I'm laughing, but that's all I've done all my life is mask and laugh and try and put a brave face on. And, you know, we call it resilience, and resilience is meant to be a good thing, but yeah. So, oh look, I'm going to share the scoop, and I'm going to tell you how I recovered, and how I dealt with my trauma. I'm in my 40s now, 46 years old now, and I haven't had therapy. I can't afford therapy with the cost of living. And when I was younger, I always wanted to help people, but I've never been in a position, I feel, to help them because I didn't help myself like I should have done. So that's why I'm doing this podcast. I'm doing this podcast to share my story. Okay. It's not going to be all sad and depressing. Trust me, I don't do sad and depressing. I do let's get up and fix these things. Okay. That's what I do. So I want to share my story. I want to share with you, how I overcame, those hardships to get to the place that I am today. So me and my friend Caroline, my best friend Caroline, we talk nearly daily, and we will be bringing the Daily Dog Walk to you, an episode once a week, filled with just chit chats, things that we talk about, and on our dog walks, that's what we're going to be talking about. And it could be anything, could be absolutely anything. It's not going to be all trauma. I trust me, it's not going to be all trauma, but it could be anything. And most of it will be, our opinion, which isn't going to be the most popularist opinion, right, about the bullshit that we see going on now in the world. But I'm finally going to use my voice. I was given a voice, and I used to use it all the time. Those of you who know me, you're like, yeah, you're probably not don't think that I'm talking about the same person, because I've always been very open, honest, and vocal about my struggles, but not so much recently. I used to when I was in my teen years, when I was young. Yeah, I talked to people about it. I was open about it, and that's why people thought I was strong. But I wasn't really dealing with it. Just by talking about it doesn't actually mean you're dealing with it. I hadn't really acknowledged, my problems and my trauma properly. And time has a way of fixing that for you. See, I'm doing it again. I'm laughing again. It's not funny. So what were we talking about on the Daily Dog Walk? No, the Daily Dog Walk I put together because one of the things I did when I was in the worst place was I isolated myself from everybody, and I mean everybody. So my best friends, I didn't talk to them for years. I only spoke to people on the school run. I was just pretending to be happy. It was awful. And I wanted to reconnect with people. So that's the daily dog walk. The daily dog walk is what I do. I use my time on my dog walks to call my friends, to reconnect with people. And over the last 5 years, since I've had my mental break, I've reconnected with some of the closest friends I've had in the last 20 years, which has been amazing. So I want to talk about first is, as I said, I self-isolated. That's one of the things I did when I had my mental breakdown. And it's really hard because you need people. You need people when you're in a dark place. And the first thing I want to do is just hide. And I'm really good at it. Like, I'm really, really good at it. I'm like super good at hiding myself away. And then because people don't contact me, I'm like, oh, nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. I'm one of those ones. It's really weird. I what's the word? Prophesize. I self-prophesize. That's what I do. And I self-destruct on my own. I don't need other people to do it. I'll do it for myself. So that's the place that I was in. So I completely self-isolated, and because we when we're not in a good place, do you know what I mean? Everybody does things differently, okay? And I'm not a big believer in coming on social media when I'm down or in a bad place. Okay, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't connect with people. And that's not necessarily a good thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how I deal with things. So it was really hard for me because I came through the other side. And when I came through the other side, I was like, oh shit, I've burnt so many freaking bridges. Like what? Wow. Like, I've got nobody now. So I've had to work really hard over the last couple of years to, now that I'm at a better place mentally, to build those bridges again, to reconnect with people. So I did something really bold this year. And I took the time to put together, and actually, I say I took the time. It's took me over a year, and I've been recording myself practicing talking, a little bit like I'm talking now, and I couldn't get a sentence out without bursting into tears and crying. This is how bad I've been over the last 5 years with my mental health. I couldn't look at the camera. I couldn't talk about myself. I couldn't talk about my struggles or anything without feeling sorry for myself, which is basically that long and short of it. I've been feeling sorry for myself. And I had to kind of, realize, the extent of my mental health problems. And then I had to understand where they stemmed from. And it stemmed from my child abuse. So if you don't know, when I, myself growing up, I, my still hard to talk about. It really is, because I used to talk about it like it was nothing before, but I realized that since I've had my family, I've realized the extent of how bad it actually really is. So this is why it is a little bit difficult now for me to actually talk about it, basically. And also, the people in my life have kind of cemented that really through, now that I'm grown. So, this is years and years. It didn't stop when I was younger. Do you know what I mean? It's continued throughout. So the neglect and the lack of love and support, and all of that, and that's what hits me harder. And I think that the reason that hits me harder is because I've got my own girls now, and I understand maternal instincts, and I understand that what I'm supposed to do as a parent, do you know what I mean? Or the love and support I'm supposed to give, and the nurturing I'm supposed to give. And I suppose I've never, now that I'm like that, I'm like, what the fuck, what? Wow. So anyways, so if you don't know, basically when I was very tiny, my mum had me and gave me to my grandparents, and my great grandparents, should I say. And then one day came and picked me up when I was about 4 or 5. So I'd never met her before. I didn't remember her or anything. And I just met my mum, and she met me a few times on visitation rights, and then one day just picked me up and took me to America. I didn't really know her, never, and then she said to me while I was in the car, oh, this guy here, he's your dad. So I was, oh, okay, hi. It was really random, really weird. Anyways, okay, that I don't want to go into the details, but that was kind of how I met my mum. And then the abuse started when I hit America, when I went back to America with her, which is obviously where I was born originally as well. But yeah, that's when the abuse started, and I was quite a really sweet kid. I was a good kid, but my mum treated me just like I was meant to be. I was a bad kid, just because she assumed all kids were bad because they misbehave. There was no love or real maternal. I don't know. I just didn't. It was really hard. It was really hard when I was in America with her, because she was just not a very loving mum, and I was abused by her and my stepdad. So yeah, there was that. And then I came back to the UK on my own, with an air stewardess, when I was like about seven or eight. And that's when my nan put me a ward of court because of the abuse. But it didn't end there, because my mum came back over and the abuse continued periodically. I'd go back and live with her. So yeah, up until I was like 14, 15, it was 2 weeks before my 15th birthday, I put myself into care. So I just, yeah, I'm missing there's a big segment there that I'm missing out, and I'm missing out on purpose, because it's hard now to even now I'm getting a little bit choked up about it, because I realised, he knows I get upset. I realised that how disregarded that I actually have been, and so that's really hard, and that's why I went into care, because there was no real support around me. Everyone looked at me like I was a bad kid just because I was a teenager, and yeah, that was really hard. And I had a job. I was a young, tenacious. I was always very tenacious. I've always been really mature for my age, like really super mature. My family could never really see that. They just saw me as my mum's problem. Okay. And having that stigma attached to you, with nobody actually seeing you and respecting you, or, it stayed with me. It has stayed with me. And so I went into care when I was 14, 15. And yeah, I took control. I decided I had to take control of my life, because there was no grown-ups around me that actually wanted to take responsibility from me. And if they did, it was in a, assuming that I was a bad kid kind of way. I don't know. It was really bizarre. Really bizarre. Anyways, fast forward, and I moved out when I was 16. I went into the big wide world, and I fucked everything up. I didn't say I fucked everything up, but I was going through, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. And life after care was very much how you'd expect it to be if you let a 16-year-old live on their own in a new city. I thought that was a good idea. Seriously, in hindsight, they're like, yeah, probably shouldn't. Yeah. But I thought I was so grown up making these big decisions. Wow, hindsight's a bitch, isn't it? Hindsight's a bitch. Yeah. So I just want to sit here and laugh about my life now. Laugh about my trauma. That's the only thing you can do. If you don't laugh, you know. But so that is what happened. That's kind of what happened. That's the end. The kind of the gist of it. Okay, so I literally left home and left the town that I came from when I was 16 because I was trying to escape. I was trying to get away from me. I even changed my name. Seriously, I changed my name. I've had so many names over the years. Me and Caroline were actually talking about this. I've never been a feminist. Like I've had so much shit go on in my life, Caroline. You know that I've kind of been not.
Everyone's a cunt.
Yeah. Everyone's been a cunt
as much as men are, really.
Like no, but that's true in my life.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's so like. My mum was a narcissistic bitch. Yeah. You know, my grandma was a narcissistic bitch. My granny was lovely.
Whereas my mum, was working full time when others' mums were housewives.
Exactly. So, like for me,
she'd been about a bit.
I my first 5 years in the world, I couldn't say boys and girls were any different because they were all a bunch of fucking cunts.
Yeah,
They
every
were.
adult that you encountered,
Every
whether male
adult.
or female.
Yeah,
exactly.
whether they were, and then I was being forced with the black and the white thing.
Yeah.
When my mum came home with me, it was carnage. It was not. I was not well received.
Yeah.
At all. No, and I want, you know, people think, oh yeah, well they probably got over it. No, they didn't. They never got over it. Like, I'm still reeling from it now, like from childhood trauma. They didn't like me.
Yeah.
And
they just didn't want it to be happening, did they? In a nutshell,
No.
they didn't want a personal thing to you.
It wasn't.
They just didn't want the whole situation to be happening, and they dealt with it like fucking morons.
They did, yeah. And then it's affected me all my life. And
yeah, it always will, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's always going to, because it ended up shaping you, because it went on for fucking ages. Do you know what I mean? No one stopped it.
Absolutely did.
Yet you sit there all beautiful and educated, do you know what I mean? And sticking up for your daughter. Yeah. And, you know.
And they treat me like I'm the worst
person in the world. Yeah, worst person in the world, because literally you were born.
Because I was born.
Literally before they even got to know you.
Yeah.
They didn't want you there. Do you know what I mean? And it's like clear to see. You don't even need to love you to know that is clear to see.
So I was born into people just being mean, just being nasty, not liking me, do you know what I mean? Letting me down, not knowing if I was going here or there, and not feeling loved or feeling wanted, and just a loose end, like I was just something that had to be sorted. And that's how I've always been felt. So yeah, I fucking wanted to get away from that. I didn't want to stay in that kind of environment. Actually, nobody cared for me, and no one actually really loved me. So
yeah, that's not a choice. That's not a choice you're gonna make, is it? Because you're a smart kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the smart thing to do is get the fucking
hell away from
there.
Yeah, because they just didn't care for me. So because I've grown up already knowing that the world is it was a good baptism into the world, really. Do you know what I mean?
Want to fire.
Yeah, completely. I've always got no rose-tinted glasses on for this world or how people are.
Yeah, your expectations around human beings is quite low naturally. You know? They set the bar higher.
Absolutely, I'm never surprised. Grandmother is sitting on her deathbed, right? So she's dying now. Well, she's sick. Yeah, she's old, dementia, and she's old, right? And she kicked me out. Okay, 2 weeks before Christmas, when I was 14 years old, okay? And why did she kick me out? Because she kicked me out to go back to live with my mum's, okay? The reason she kicked me out,
I'm not laughing.
No, it's not really very funny. I don't even know why it's not funny. But she kicked me out because I didn't live with my mum, I lived with her, because I went to tell her that I love my mum and I'd like to have a relationship with her. So she did the normal, like most rational thing ever, and was like, screamed at me and told me that my mum never loved me. What the fuck do you want to do that for? Which, I mean, I understand her sentiments. My mum was a bitch, and she's you know, so she was right.
Do you know what I
mean? She was right. But what do you do? What would you normally do? You would sit that child down, and kind of go, oh, darling, I know you feel like that. Where's all this come from? You know what your mum's like. It's never going to happen. She's never going to be the mum you want. Darling,
you're safe here.
You're safe here. These feelings are normal. Okay, no. So I ran off, and because I was upset, obviously, because she said that my mum hated me. And so I was upset. So I came back. And when I came back, she'd locked the doors and got my stuff ready and told me to leave.
Okay.
And told me to go back and live with my mum.
Yeah.
If you want to go and see her so much, you want a relationship with her, go and live with her. That's what she said. Now,
feeding you straight back to the lion.
Yeah, and I knew my mum was going to start physically abusing me again because she just couldn't help it. And I knew it wasn't the right thing to do, but she was so angry at how dare she, after everything I've done with her, how dare she want to have a relationship with her mother. You know, and she was exasperated because of that. She just thought, you know, I've had enough of you.
I've had enough of it.
Yeah, you go.
Go to your mum's then.
Go to your mum's then. There was no care there for me at all. It was just, you know, she didn't want to deal with this or manage the situation.
That was it. She knew that if your mum started crawling back in, that she was going to have shit to deal with.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to do it. Yeah. And she reacted, made it your fault.
Yeah. And that woman is now dying and got dementia. And I put myself, obviously, I did go back to my mum. I don't want to, I went back.
We've still got a lot of years.
Yeah. I went back to live with my mum. And look, 8 months later, 6 months later, yes, she did. And I ended up having to put myself into care. That was 2 weeks before my 15th birthday. So yeah, that was 6 months. Would be like 6, 7 months.
That's about right.
About right. Yeah, and she could. That's how long it took. Do you know what I mean, for her to start again? And then my nan got angry because I put myself into care and stopped talking to me. Well, she wasn't talking to me anyways. Then
double not talking
to me. Told everybody I'm not. How dare she? But you told me that I couldn't go back. You couldn't,
I don't want to go back anyway, but you told me, my mum hates me. Because she did damage that night. Even if she hadn't kicked you out, the mental from being told that shit at that age, right, is almost too much to bear, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's true, whether it's said in anger, 14-year-old girl, you cannot say that shit to a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. You just can't. You can't say nothing to a 14-year-old girl.
But I knew it was wrong. I knew that I didn't. I knew. I was like, why do I want to see? Unfortunately, there's this thing, we are women, chemical hormones. Boys have it more than girls when it comes to their mums. Just that pull you get, that maternal pull. And unfortunately, my mum doesn't have it for me, but I still have it for her. Regardless of how she treats me, I always get sucked back into her bullshit because she's my fucking mum. Yeah. But she doesn't deserve it because she's evil. She forgets and it was physical, there was manipulation and horrible gaslighting and all that. But she's a nasty person. I mean, that trauma though, that trauma, it is childhood trauma. That bubbled up in the last 5 years for me. They didn't even want to call me by my name. Yeah. They changed my name. Yeah. So but there you go. Do you know what I mean? So they called me Sandy. They were trying to say something. They called me Sandy. We're laughing about light racism. My life. Have I never told you that? How could you have waited that long to tell me that? How funny. Did I not tell you that? All the shit stories you told me, and you forget to tell me that. I know. That's what they called me. We've got a brown baby. We're going to call her Sandy. That'll fix everyone's perception. Yeah, I know. Meets no white. She's not that brown. She's just a bit sandy. They get lighter as they get older. So my name is a bottom line. So. Wow. I can't believe I didn't tell her about that, actually. So, as I said, I will do this a lot. I digressed, didn't I? As I said, so because I completely self-isolated myself, for the last 5 years, and probably more if I'm honest, but mainly over the last 5 years specifically, I need to get back and build some of those bridges. So I did something bold this year, and as I said, I've been doing these little videos over the last couple of years, and I couldn't get through them. I kept crying all the time, just feeling sorry for myself. And finally this year I did a video. It was only meant to be like 20 minutes long. It ended up being 40 minutes because that's what I'm like. I just waffle shit after a while. And I invited about, I call them the 72, but there's probably many more than 72. I can think of 15 people that I didn't put on that list, and that's just because I'm perimenopausal, and I was already ditzy before that, being perimenopausal. So look, if you weren't in that 72, do not be offended. Okay, it literally, I can even just contact me, and I'll be like, oh, I'll send you the video. I'll join you to the group. So, anyways. I put this video together, 40 minutes long, and it was basically me opening up to basically say, hi, I'm here, and, I apologise if I've, ignored you and, ghosted you, but, I was honest with them, was raw and honest, and just told them the truth. I've had a mental breakdown, and I'm trying to build myself back up, and I'm trying to build my life up, and I'm trying to build my connections back up again. And once upon a time, I truly loved you. Because coming back onto social media after having a mental break was like really weird, because it had changed so much in the last 5 years. Since I used to use social media for my business to now, the social media is a completely different place. But what I wanted to stress, for me, was what I noticed was that, we're trying to connect and, you know, getting new followers. But what about the people we already know? What about the people that we've met over the years, the people we've worked with, the people that, I don't know, that you've just met in the pub, or, you know, that you have a drink with, and you know, all these people, you have that moment. We've all had it. I've met girlies that I've never met before out on nights out in the toilets, you know, and we've bonded, you know, only for the night. Come and sit at our table, do you know what I mean? You know, but even so, just little things like that, just people that I've worked with, you know, mentors that I've had over the years. And you know, I've worked with some fantastic, and I mean some fantastic people. And, you know, in a long career, I've had a really long career. I've had a long career in retail. I've had a long career in photography. I've had a long career in, I can't remember, education. That's where I am now. I'm old. So, you know, and I've met so many amazing people along the way. And I just thought, you know what? Let's connect with those people rather than trying to reconnect with new people and find new followers and, you know, new people to support me. Let's support each other. Do you know what I mean? The people we already know. So I wanted to bring those people together just to say, you know, I appreciate you. I'm thinking of you. And look, this is the first episode, and I've kind of revealed quite a little bit about, you know, quite a lot of personal stuff about myself, and that's, you know, that's okay, because this is my therapy. So if you're like me and you cannot afford therapy, then this is the podcast for you. But I will share things about myself, and if you can resonate with that and it helps and supports you on your healing journey, then that's what this is for. Okay, we will be laughing, and yeah, you will be offended at something I say. Of course you will be. I'm not here to, you know, sugarcoat things, darling. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to be raw and honest. All right. So if I can help anybody by sharing my story, I absolutely will. Okay. I will share everything I need to. All right. Warts and all. So thank you for listening to the first episode of the Daily Dog Walk. I hope you tune in for more. We'll be doing this every week, one episode a week, and, you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll go along, we'll keep going as long as we can. All right, so see you next time. Bye.
I just say fuck my life way too much. Your other catchphrases, I'm sorry, but you're not sorry at all. I'm not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That was polite.